All right, folks, in the interest of time, let's go ahead and get started. I would like to welcome everyone to our first New Mexico School Counselors meeting. My name is Dr. Danielle Talent. I'm the Chief Learning Officer for NS4Ed. I'm joined here today by Kelly Kennedy, who is our Research and Digital Content Specialist, as well as Barb Armijo, who is our Education, or who is the Education Administrator for the New Mexico Public Education Department. Before we get started today, Barb had a few things that she wanted to share with folks, so I'm going to pass it on over to her before we get into the content of the presentation.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Wonderful to see you all here. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here for this, because we really have done kind of a mind shift at PED and the College and Career Readiness Bureau about how we want to support counselors. I think, the PED has always had this, teacher community, and they're building on that, and that's valuable and wonderful. But we really felt, and I think our director, Dr. Elaine Perea, and others have always thought, we need a community of counselors. And so that is where Dr. Goins, I'm sure Danielle will tell you about kind of the overview of these wonderful people who are helping us out with these new initiatives. So you'll see a lot of communication coming out of my email. So you might see from Barb Armijo. I'll always, anytime you want to email me or give me a call about any situations you have, but I always like to hear about your best practices, some success stories and things that have gone really well. For instance, in this upcoming newsletter, I'll give you guys a scoop. So in our upcoming October newsletter, we're gonna feature a partnership between Santa Fe Community College and Capitol High School, and how they were able to come together and create this. It's a pilot program to get more high school students college credits towards their LPN degree. And so it's a nice pipeline. It's a alignment between secondary, post-secondary, and industry. So I want to hear more of those types of stories. Your high quality CTE programs that are working, what students are really engaged in. So please, when you get a communication from me, and my email is there, my phone number, call me, email me. We do want to keep this moving forward, and Danielle and Kelly Kennedy, who you'll meet later, or just as soon as I pipe down, are wonderful people who understand what we're trying to accomplish in New Mexico. So we're really here, this whole webinar series, the improving our communication for counselors, is because of the work you all do. And we're committed to that at CCRB and the PED. So I hope this is valuable, and please keep me, I get some great emails from you all in the field, and I appreciate that. So please continue to do that. And also I'll be sharing some information later. I thought I would have more information on an upcoming career cluster guidebook that we've had for the past 3 years. It's been a valuable resource for counselors. We don't have the print edition yet. It's still in the works. There's been a few edits here and there. So I don't have that to share out, but we can do that the next time, or and I'll be sending some communication out about that. But these are wonderful resources that I hope you all will use. Thank you very much. Back to you, Danielle, and I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you.
Yeah, Barb, I wanted to second that as well. We do certainly value your time and everything that you're doing with students right now. We know that this is precious time for you, and we want to be sure that the resources that we provide are in support of everything you're doing with students. So we'll go through this presentation. We'll introduce you to some of the things that will be part of this counselor community. But also just to know, tomorrow we'll be sending out a survey that will help you provide some feedback to us about what you're interested in, and kind of give a voice to you as counselors on things that you need and resources that you need. So if what we are presenting here in this particular presentation doesn't seem like it's going to fit your needs, we are willing to accommodate that, and we're going to move in that direction. So we definitely don't want to waste time. We want to be of value and a service to everything you're doing with students. We want to support that. So let's go ahead and jump into our presentation or introduction here. I want to give you a little overview of where we're going to go. My target here is not to go over an hour. I definitely want to be around that 45-minute mark. I want to give folks time to answer or to ask questions, and for that question answer session here at the end. So definitely I value time and don't want to go beyond that. So an overview of where we're going to go here. I'm going to provide some introductions and background to NS4Ed and Pathway to Careers to kind of orient you with who we are and kind of the services that we provide. I also want to go in and talk about the purpose of the New Mexico school counselors community and the direction that we're heading with that community. And then I'm going to hand it on over to Kelly, who's going to talk about our counselors community website, our monthly counselors newsletter, and our communication strategy with you as counselors. Lastly, I'll come in and review the schedule of events with you all, and then also talk about our counselor feedback surveys. So that's kind of the target for today, is just a brief introduction to all of the things that will be coming along with this counseling community. So first, a little bit of introduction to who we are. NS4Ed is an educational research and development company, and we're dedicated to negotiating services for schools, educators, and private institutions. We partner with state and local entities to provide research, policy, and practice deliverables that yield high value and actionable results. We're really about those three components over to the right of the screen here, about research, policy, and practice. We try to make sure that everything we do is rooted in research and evidence-based practices that is used to inform policy that also leads practice. So that's kind of the three main pillars of our company and the things that we do. With regard to our professional staff, yes, we do have Dr. Joseph Goins. Many of you may have met him or had him on webinars recently, but he is our Chief Executive Officer, extensive experience in education and background in education, also has a doctorate in education. So definitely one of our, he's definitely a shining star within our company. There's myself, I'm Dr. Danielle Talent. I'm the Chief Learning Officer. I'm primarily responsible for a lot of our training materials. A lot of it geared around the use of labor market information and how that can be effectively used in education settings, both with regard to career exploration and preparing students for careers. So that's my primary objective within the company. Kelly is our research and digital content specialist. Kelly, did you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. I have been in education, the field of education, for over 30 years, working with K-12 education curriculum. I've also worked in higher education, supervising student teachers at Johnson University. My master's degree, however, is in educational technology, so I'm using all of those pieces to help support you and other people that we work with, including early college high schools in New Mexico.
Thanks, Kelly. Additional members on our staff, we have Trevor Stokes, who is our labor market analyst. We also have Hassan Davis, our inclusion expert, and Francisco Garcia, who is our migrant education coordinator. Definitely the person that we rely on most right now is Trevor Stokes, who is our labor market analyst. He makes sure that all of our materials with regard to labor market information is up to date and current. So kind of the man of the hour when we talk about labor market information. Pathway to Careers is a program associated with NS4Ed, and some of the resources and content that you'll experience within the counselors community is associated with Pathway to Careers. Pathway to Careers is really a career readiness service provider or a program that we have under NS4Ed. It offers a collection of resources to support career readiness efforts in educational settings. Our approach is really unique in that we place considerable emphasis on the use of regional labor market data to identify local high-value careers, ensuring that everything that we do helps enhance students' access to good jobs in their community. We have several products and services that fall under that particular program, including our labor market data tools. That includes the Career Pathways labor market dashboard that's available within New Mexico, has labor market information mapped to each individual district in New Mexico. And part of the training that we'll provide within the counselors community is on how to use that Career Pathways dashboard. We offer professional development, Perkins 5 support, career pathway mapping, and a whole host of other types of products and services. With regard to who can benefit from P2C and what level of education do we serve, it truly is at all levels. We work with administrators, faculty, students, and parents. Just about everybody can benefit from the services that we provide with our P2C program. So that was just kind of a background and introduction to who we are as NS4Ed, and then our program Pathway to Careers. But then I wanted to go in and talk a little bit about the main purpose of our New Mexico School Counselors Community of Best Practices. This particular community was developed in a collaborative effort between the New Mexico Public Education Department and NS4Ed to provide additional support to school counselors in New Mexico. Our primary purpose is to support access to and collaboration around information and resources that support best practices in school counseling activities in New Mexico. We have somebody who needs to mute. Okay. So that's really our primary purpose, is to support those best practices and get the communication going around that. Our additional objective with the counselors community is to provide quality training tools and resources that support career guidance with students via the effective use of labor market data. So again, that Career Pathways site and how to use that dashboard and the data within that dashboard in guiding students toward career success. Some of the main features that align with that purpose, we have several things here that are part of this community. First, we have a designated school counselor site. This serves as a central hub with resources, tools, news, updates, and communication forums for you to access. We have monthly newsletters that will go out on the first Friday of every month, and you've already probably received a couple of those. The monthly newsletters provide a snapshot of important updates, announcements, and current news. We also are going to be doing monthly update meetings. This really serves as our first monthly update meeting, but we're going to call it an introduction meeting because we do need to get you familiar with some of the services and the resources available in the counseling community. So next month, on the third Wednesday of that month and every month following, we will have an update meeting. And these update meetings provide a recurring point of connection to discuss relevant topics and share information. We're also going to be offering professional learning communities, which will be access to professional webinar series that deliver or that delve into topics such as social and emotional learning and leadership. We have several other topics that will be presented within those communities. We'll also be offering surveys, and this will be probably your most direct and strongest way to have a voice within the community. Within these surveys, you'll have the ability to comment on topics that you would like to have discussed in our update meetings, provide feedback on what you think is working within the community, what's not working on the community, and make requests for changes and updates. So these surveys will be really important, so look out for those surveys as we keep moving forward. Usually these surveys will be sent out to you the Thursday after our Wednesday update meeting, so be looking for those. Finally, we'll be offering labor market information and career readiness training. We'll have online professional development courses that introduce the use of labor market data and helping students make informed career decisions. So these are really all of the main features that will be included within our counseling community. In terms of direction and where we're going to be headed next and a schedule of events, Our direction truly is to offer those monthly opportunities throughout the school year to connect and explore new ideas and resources that support counseling work with students. So our schedule looks something like this, and it's a very simplistic schedule, but we'll talk about this a little bit more after we've gone and looked at the website and the newsletters and other types of things more in depth. But just to give you an overview of kind of what that's going to look like, first Friday of each month, you'll receive a counseling newsletter. Third Wednesday of each month at 3 p.m., we'll have a counseling update meeting. Every Friday, you'll see website announcements come across, our website updates. So you want to check the counseling website every Friday for those announcements and updates. Our professional learning communities will be offered on variable dates, most of them happening this fall, with some of them happening in spring. And then with continuous access, you'll have access to that online labor market information and career readiness training. That's kind of a 24/7 type of thing where you can get in there and take those courses or complete those courses at any time that you feel is most convenient to you. So we've kind of reached this point now where we're going to go in and look at that counseling community website. We're going to do a little overview of the newsletter and look at our communication strategy. So at this point, I'm going to hand it on over to Kelly, who's going to talk about these three main components.
Hi, first of all, I want to address a couple of questions that were in the chat. We will make the PowerPoint available. We can put it on our website. Also, someone asked if we would be recording, and we can also, we are recording it. We will post it unless anyone has any objections. If you do, will you please just send me a private message in the chat, and then we will not post it. We do have to have your permission to do so. I do want to look at the website. To do that, I need to share my screen. Danielle, if you'll let me share, please. Okay, does everyone see my screen now? The New Mexico School Counselors Community of Best Practice? Is that there?
Yes.
Yes.
To share this website with you, first of all, I want to express that we want this website to be like a one-stop place for your news, for information, for support, even a place for you to network with your colleagues. We know sometimes you feel an island among yourself, being maybe one of only a few, if not the only counselor in your school. We truly want it to become a community of best practice. We don't want it to become something extra. We want it to be something that truly supports you. On the home page, there's a navigation menu at the top, and we'll come back to that, but I want to hit a couple of highlights quickly. Throughout, you will see links to the P2C dashboard. That is using the labor market information that Danielle was referring to, and we will be providing some training on that a little bit later. One important place for you to note is in the very beginning, in the middle of the page is a white bar that says new, and anytime we've made a significant update or we need to communicate something with you, or College and Career Readiness Bureau of PD needs to communicate with you, that information will be posted here so you know where to find it right off the bat. You don't have to go clicking on a lot of different pages. We've listed upcoming events for the next couple of months. You notice that we do have some professional learning communities coming up. One of them is the social emotional learning one with Keith Matheny. Many of you attended that on August 18th. He's going to re-offer that one session. Some of you were not able to attend on September 29th. And then he's going to offer 2 additional sessions after that that take a bit of a deeper dive into it. We're working on making several more learning communities available, and you will find that here. That link was just below the calendar of events. We also are working on a running calendar. You'll see a spotlight here. We're looking to highlight counseling best practices, maybe look at spotlighting various programs. Currently, this is linked to a spotlight we did on the Early College Academy in Albuquerque that you'll see here. These are several quick links that go to the P2C dashboard, which again, you will learn more about. Also on the main page, you'll find a contact us link. Here's where we want you to give us your feedback. Tell us what we can do to better support you. Are there resources you would like us to add? Are there things you would like to see us add to the page or to other sources of support so that we can best serve you? And again, we are excited about working with all of you this year in the hard and the very tremendous amount of work we know that you do to support students. We know that your job is even more difficult this year. Looking back up at the top, we'll look at the navigation bars. There is a Meet the Team page where, again, if you need to be reminded of a name, you can see the team here. We have a resources tab, and there are several resources for counselors, several that are New Mexico specific. For example, information about the Next Step plan, and here are the forms, the manuals, the information you need there. This is a neat one, the career awareness websites. All of these links, we're trying to compile things that would be useful to you in one location. Here's where we can really use your help. If you've got a great website and you want to share, please do, and let's add it to our list. We also have a list of remote learning resources, and of course this is growing, that have virtual counseling websites, and on this is from the American School Counselor Association. Tons of links here. Again, wanting to serve as a support for you. We also have research. This first article is really good if you have the moment to read it. It validates the work, this important work that you are doing. It's the impact of school counselors, the impact that you have on student outcomes in school, K-12 schools particularly. Down at the bottom is a link to our reading room where there is more research. Some you might not find as helpful as others, but there are interesting links to research around social emotional learning, things like that. So quite a few resources. One of the interesting things that we would like to try to get started, which will help you network with one another, is our community forum. It's one way to build community with you and allow you to share. For the forum, you will need to register. When you register, you will receive an email that asks you to set your own password, and by doing so, that activates your account. Right now, there's a couple of forums that we've added. They're very general, but if you have an idea for one we might want to add, just let us know. But I can see, for example, in the questions, strategies, and suggestions, I might post the question. I have a student who's not responding to my attempts to reach out to them virtually. Has anyone else had a similar issue or suggestions you might want to share with me? Of course, we definitely want to remember ethics in this case, and we're not putting names or anything that would personally identify anyone. I'm saying that for me because I know as counselors, you know that. The other piece about this forum is after today, it will be password protected. That way, the public cannot see it, and only those with the password can access it. We do that more to protect you so that you can freely share your questions and concerns while others don't have free access to it. I will post what the password will be in the chat in just a few moments. I'm going to go back to the navigation. I'm going to come back to news. Again, this contact us goes to a form that you can complete. That email comes directly to me, and I'm happy to respond. And again, a P2C dashboard. The news link, this page goes directly to news that will be announcements from PED that they may have for you. Anything like that will go on this page. And then we are archiving the newsletters here. If you are not already receiving them and you have not signed up to subscribe to it, feel free to complete this and we will add you to the list. The next newsletter goes out next Friday. Speaking of the newsletter, one of the purposes of the newsletter is to share best practices with you. So feel free to give us information to share there. We're also going to have brief summaries, links to timely resources, relevant news, we hope to include announcements from CCRB. The distribution will be the first Friday of each month. And again, you can also find them here on this page. Any questions about the website or the newsletter that you might have? I'm getting lots of subscriptions. I love this. Some of you may already have it. Again, it will let me know when I go to add you to the list. If not, the next thing I wanted to discuss before I turn it back over to Danielle is the communication strategy. I mentioned earlier that we will update the website regularly, including the addition of resources and research. Any communication or updates we have from New Mexico Public Education Department, we will make sure we have updated by Friday morning of each week. New and time-sensitive announcements will be posted, as I mentioned earlier, here in this white bar, so you know exactly where to come on the website. If there's time-sensitive information that you need to get before the next newsletter goes out, Barb Armijo will email you directly, and she will point you to the place on the website to find that information. Again, the main thing we would like to see is this website become the center of a joint communication and networking plan for you, because this is to best support you so that you can do your jobs and do them well and continue to do them without extra added work. Any other questions that you may have about communication or the website? Again, feel free to hit that contact us and let us know how we can support you. I'm going to turn it back over to Danielle now to share our schedule of events. Let me see. Okay.
Okay, so I'm assuming my screen is back on and folks can hear me again. So thank you, Barb. All right, thank you, Kelly, for going through that. I think the main takeaway from that particular portion of the presentation is that the community website truly is our central hub for communication. It's where you're going to get announcements. It's where you're going to see our calendar of events. It's how you're going to register for events. There's a contact us form where you can go in and submit questions directly and get into contact with us directly. There's also, very importantly, that protected community forum, which is a place to share those ideas, to ask those questions and get feedback from your peers, people who are in the trenches right along with you, other counselors that can assist with that. So please think of that website as that central point of contact. Anytime you have questions, go there first, and then use the resources that are available there. So I just wanted to kind of overview the schedule of events so you know what's going on and what to expect. And again, this is not going to overload your calendar. These are just things that you can choose to opt in at any point or opt out of, but hopefully they're helpful enough to where you're going to choose to access those on a continuous basis. On a daily and weekly schedule, you're going to find access to, on a daily basis, to your New Mexico School Counselors Forum. I would get in there when time allows, see if there's any new posts, post any questions that you might have. I have the web address here that you can go and directly access that forum with. What I'd like to challenge everybody with is that before our next meeting, get into that forum and post one helpful resource, tool, or idea that you're willing to share with folks. So let's get this started. Let's get the ball rolling on this forum and let's get that communication going. This can be very, very, very helpful and useful for folks, especially in the time that we're in where we need as much assistance as possible. So we can lean on each other and get that communication and feedback from each other. A reminder that the website will be updated every Friday with announcements from PED or any other types of announcements that we need to make. And at the center of that web page, you'll see those new announcements. Focus there first. And with continuous access, you'll be able to get into our online career readiness training. Now, I we'll be providing additional training with that, or additional, as our update meetings move forward, we'll start releasing that for you. We are in the process of updating that. We just revised our data dashboard, so now we're in the process of updating our professional development that goes along with that. So when you have access to that, you'll have the newest version available, which is kind of nice. On a monthly schedule, you want to look out for our Friday newsletter that will happen on the very first Friday of each month. Take a look at that newsletter. Again, a snapshot of everything that's kind of going on, main ideas and updates you're going to be needing to be aware of. Third Wednesday of each month, we're going to have our update meetings. On the third Thursday, right after our update meeting, and you can expect one tomorrow, I'll send one out, you'll have your counselor survey. So again, that's going to be your main voice to communicate with us with regard to feedback on the counseling community. Our schedule of monthly update meetings is over here on the right-hand side, and I'll be sure to email that to everyone so folks can have a PowerPoint presentation, this list of those meetings. And just a reminder, in December, there is no meeting. You will be on winter break at that time, yay. So no meeting in December. A reminder for professional learning communities, those will be on variable dates, a lot of them happening though in fall, so you can access a lot of those here in the next few months. Just kind of FYI, our first event that's coming up is Social and Emotional Learning with Keith Matheny. He is offering 3 90-minute sessions, and these are all completely free and available for you to access. You just need to register for them on the website. This first one coming up is going to be Tuesday, September 29th from 3:30 to 5. If you already attended the first session on the 18th, you don't need to attend that first one again. So it's just going to be a repeat of that first session. The other 2 sessions, though, will be new. So you want to make sure you register so that you can attend those other 2 sessions. If you're not familiar with Keith Matheny, he's a very interactive and engaging presenter. He will get you communicating and working within that presentation, and it's very, very engaging. There's definitely no opportunity to fall asleep through that particular presentation. So totally recommend that you engage in that particular learning community that's coming up. Don't miss that one. That would be one I would definitely say you want to attend. So again, access that on, I have the web address here to access that on the website and register. So just a reminder, you do need to register for these meetings so that you have the registration email that comes to you in a link. You can register for everything on the site. Some of them are listed in our calendar there. So those will be your update meetings, and oftentimes we'll have the professional learning communities listed there too, the upcoming events. But if you just want to get all your registration out of the way, go into the learning communities, register for the ones that are available, and you're done. Just put them on your calendar. The only one that you don't need to register for multiple times would be our monthly update meetings. Only need to register once. You'll use the same link and the same password for the update meetings. So once you're registered for those, you're good to go. Just log into Zoom and you're ready to go. So that should be pretty easy. Our counselor survey is going to be really important, so please take the time to complete these surveys. For the most part, we're going to try to keep them down to about 5-minute surveys. It's basically open them up, provide a few responses, and we'll go over the responses at the next meeting. This will be sent after every update meeting that we have. So again, your first one will be coming out tomorrow. The purpose really is to collect feedback on the counselors community. We want to know how the events are going, how the resources, are they helpful? We need to know that. The more you say to us, the more we can tailor everything that we're doing to your needs. We also want to promote a deeper understanding of the typical counseling activities. We want to know what your daily life looks like, so we have a sense of what you're doing. It's hard for us to understand a day in the life of a counselor without that information and feedback. So you'll have questions related to that as well. We want to also determine your counseling needs and identify resources to support those needs. So we'll have specific questions on topics that you want to talk about and things that you would like to discuss. We also want to highlight and share best practices currently used with students. So At times you will see questions about how are things going, what's working for you, what have you found to be a tremendous success with students, and get those messages out so that we can share them among each other. The more that we talk, the more that we communicate, the stronger we get as a community together. So that's really the whole goal and purpose behind the surveys and getting that information out. So again, time commitment should be about 5 to 10 minutes. This first survey, though, is going to take a little bit longer. So I would plan at least 10, possibly 15 minutes for the first survey. What that's going to do is it sets a foundation for us to really understand the group that we're working with, the responsibilities that you have on your plate right now, and also how can we best tailor our website and our services right now. So if you have the time, which I certainly hope you do, to help us out with that survey, it's incredibly important that we get that foundational information. We use that information to move forward, and we use that information to provide the best possible service for you that we can. So look for that link coming out tomorrow. We'd like to have survey responses within a week, but if it takes a couple of weeks for you to go in and get that completed, that's fine. You can save and go back to the survey anytime you want to, but the sooner we get it, the better off we are, so that we can plan for our next update meeting and get things changed and ready for you. So to give you an idea of where we went today, and then we're going to take some questions, provided some introductions and backgrounds to NS for Ed and Pathway to Careers to give you an idea of who we are. We looked at the purpose and direction of our counseling community, really to try to share those best practices and support everything that you're doing with students. We did an overview of our counselors community website, our counselors newsletter, and also a communication strategy, which basically is through that website. We took a quick look at scheduled events and things you can look for in terms of resources and events, and also talked about our counselor feedback surveys. The final slide I want to show is our contact information. So there's several ways to get directly in contact with us. So first and best location is going to be through the website. So you can click on Contact Us, and that will send emails directly to us. In fact, it goes to Kelly first. So it goes to Kelly, and then she'll distribute it to whoever needs to answer that particular question. So you get direct contact through the Contact Us link. Other ways to contact us, you've got email addresses here kind of as a direct contact, our method of communication. What may be most useful if you have a question that others may be able to contribute to or would benefit from the answer, we do highly recommend the use of that discussion forum that's within that website, so that everybody gets a chance to review the question answer exchange. Often, if you ask us questions via email and we believe that would benefit everybody, we'll redirect you to that discussion forum and encourage you to post there so that we can share that. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, we completely understand, but we'll encourage that as much as possible. So at this point, kind of want to open it up to questions that folks may have. It may be easiest to just type them in the chat here, and we can go over those questions without having everybody unmuting and talking at the same time. So if you have a question, type them in the chat and we can answer them directly.
Okay, and I know, Barb, you wanted to share something.
Yes, just one thing. And we're still working on plans, but we will be gathering for a New Mexico specific counselor summit, likely in the spring. So you'll be hearing more about that as we develop plans. I mean, depending on the governor's health orders, where we're at with all of this. I mean, it sure would be nice to be real life, but we will make every effort to get those plans out to you as soon as we know them. But that will happen whether virtually or in person, if everything clears. So I will keep you posted, and I think that'll be a great opportunity to really tie up this year and see just the gains we've made as a community. So thank you again, Danielle and Kelly.
Yeah, definitely.
We had a question about the forum, and I'm going to post a link one more time for that. Let's see.
So Kelly's going to post a link, and I'll show you where to locate that on the site.
Okay.
So the website is careercounselors-nm.com. So once you get here, you'd want to navigate to resources and then here to community forum.
And we did have a question in the chat about, will the summit replace the summit that we had in the summer? We did have that AP Counselor Summit together in person last year. And yes, this summit will be specific to counselors. I don't think we're going to combine in fact, I'm sure we're not going to combine the AP teachers and counselors for this next summit. It's going to be completely devoted to New Mexico counselors. And that will replace that summit, correct?
And a lot of what we do here within the community forums and the website will help kind of direct what we do within that particular summit as well. So the more work we do now, the better the summit will be, right? So again, this is our community forum. And remember that you do need to register. So here's that registration link. And Kelly posted the password in there, I believe, at some point. Kelly, did you post that?
I will post it again.
Okay. So there will be a password. It will be protected. So again, that's for your privacy, just to ensure that everybody, that the people are accessing are the people that need to be accessing it.
Again, it doesn't have a password on it right this moment. It will by tomorrow at the latest. And should you forget the password, just hit that contact us button at the top and say, I forgot the password to the forum, and I'll send it to you.
So the password is NM Community. So New Mexico Community. So NM Community is.
And it is cap sensitive. So be sure that you do the NMC in capital letters.
So somebody was asking, I was able to set a password. Will it be changed? I don't think your personal.
That is your personal password, Alessia, to enter, to get to the forum and to access it so that you can post and you can read it. But to get to the page after today, to even get to this page, to even see this, to get to it, to even register, you'll have to have the password. No one else can access it. After today, it'll say, I'm sorry, you need a password.
I know initially this may be a little challenging to access, but the protection is well worth the steps that you'll have to go through to access the community forum. So once we get this in place and once we're all kind of used to using the forum, this will be a whole lot easier.
Cindy, you asked where and how do we add resources? You can share resources here in the community forum, or if you have one that you would like to see posted on the website that you think is beneficial to everyone, send it to me in the contact us by using contact us, and we'll get it on the website.
Yeah, it may be helpful to start with that question, strategies, and suggestions section here, where you could just post it there. Folks get it immediately, and then we'll get it posted on the website. Other questions?
Hi, Danielle.
Hey, Deborah.
My name is Deborah Brown. I'm a counselor at Career Prep High School in Shiprock, New Mexico. Central Consolidated Schools. Probably saying too much, but anyway. I was going to type it out, but I'm trying to put this in, but I'll just verbally say it. I had a question earlier about working with students remotely. I've set up Zoom meetings and I've only had one response. So I'm just trying to figure out another way to best communicate with the students if I'm not remote, if I'm working remotely and the students are remote also.
Right, and I'm sure other folks have experienced that challenge as well. So I'm going to open this up to see if any folks have suggestions on how to encourage folks to attend those Zoom meetings. That's got to be a significant challenge with students right now.
Right. And by the way, can I just add, I just saw where someone said something about the Google, Google forum, right? But students are meeting with their teachers per Google Classroom, and I'm trying to not impede what they're doing with their teachers, but set up my own. It probably is too much for the kids to have to go through the Google Classroom if they already have several times that they're meeting with their teachers in Google Classroom.
Sounds like you have got a situation where you've got conflicting schedules. So you need
right. And I don't know every student's schedule. You know, we're on a block, and I've seen on the website where teachers for each classroom have their Zoom set up. So, you know, there's a break in there, like a half hour, but it's kind of like doing hopscotch. You're jumping back and forth, you know? So I'm just trying to figure out another way to get to kids and have them feel like that they could reach me and communicate with me.
One of the suggestions I saw that popped up here, it says we offer office hours. And I wonder if that wouldn't be a good thing to do. And this is just me throwing out an idea to where, what if you were to survey your students and say, I need to know what times you have available most often. And then you offer office hours during those times for students to pop in. And whether they choose to take advantage of that or not is kind of up to them. And that's kind of your problem, is getting them encouraged to do that. But if you had, I don't know, some sort of critical information that would be shared during those office hours, that could be helpful as well. So you could leave out something like, you know, we're going to be discussing this, or a topic that they may be interested in. So that may be a way to go about doing that.
It looks like there's some other good advice, like Google phone numbers. It sounds like one counselor has been successful using Google phone numbers. She said students will text you back. But these are great. This is a great example of why this forum, the community, the counselor community, is so vital. How would you, Danielle and Kelly, how would you suggest we get this topic into the forum, and then people can start documenting their success stories or their, you know, their plans?
Ideally, Deborah, we'd like for you to go in and maybe put it under questions, strategies, and suggestions. And then others who have registered can then reply to you. If you have trouble getting it in there, let me know, and I can certainly post, say, this first one. I can post that for you, and then everyone can respond.
Check it periodically, right? She could check it every once in a while and see what ideas are floating out there.
Right. You can opt in when you post a message. You have the option of receiving responses to your email. So you can check a little box that says every time someone replies to my post, send me an email. So.
Okay. All right.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
An opportunity to exchange that information. So these are, I mean, there's a whole slew of just 12 different messages with a lot of different suggestions here. Office hours, a lot of people saying office hours, some folks suggesting Microsoft Teams. The Remind app, that could be helpful too. Part of it could be students. It sounds to me like you need to kind of survey your students and find out what time they have available, and then try to fit within that, and then try to keep reminding them to do that. At the end of the day, I mean, you can only suggest. There's no way you can force them to attend that meeting, but you can set them up for success by providing a time that is most suitable for them, and also reminding consistently, and I guess providing at least a little bit of a carrot there, saying, I'm here to support you. These are the things that we can accomplish in this meeting. Please attend.
And Deborah, I found Google Voice to be very, very helpful. It's a free service that you can get. It will go through your own cell phone, and you can give that number out to students if you choose, and you can text through it or call, and it works on your own phone, but it's not giving your personal number out.
Oh, okay.
It's called Google Voice.
And you can set that up through the Google apps and everything. Mm-hmm. I saw where someone said something about a Google form. I'm not familiar with that, so I'll have to find out more about that and stuff. But the Google Voice, it gives you another phone number, right?
It's a different phone number.
So it's like calling long distance for the students, or what?
No, it will give you a local phone number. I have one here. I found it personally just to be helpful. When people want my cell phone number, like, you go to the grocery store and they want you to enter your cell phone number for something, and I don't want to give out my personal cell phone number, so I have one, but I can receive texts and calls, and there's no charge.
To your phone?
To my phone. And I found that most, like my student teachers had my regular phone, but I had some other students who actually used the Google Voice text feature. They preferred text over talking.
Right. Okay.
Can I mention there's only one caveat when you're creating that Google Voice account? This is Brandon Boiser. So when you do it, you can't link, like if you're like a business, like, or even our school, we run our school email through Google systems. We cannot link our school email to it. So we have to use our own individual private accounts we have to create.
Oh,
But my students, when I give out this Google Voice number, they don't have the access to my email. Only Google Voice has access to my email. Students can have only access to the number where they can text me or call me.
okay.
So what I'm kind of hearing here is that there'll be several ideas that are going to be thrown out here. So I again suggest posting it in the forum. Let's get some of those ideas out here. But I'm also hearing that we need probably some training on tech. So just what are these?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so some ways to connect and communicate with students through technology and how to use some of these suggested ideas. So, I mean, I'm going to write this down as maybe one of our update meeting topics is that we get some information on tech and some tools. And I might go ahead and survey folks at some point about some of the technology that they find the most useful or helpful and what they would like training on the most. So, and if folks, I mean, if you're willing to volunteer to speak up and tell us all the things that you're using and how, please raise a hand. And
I see some great suggestions here. I will save the chat too, so that we have access to that information.
Great. So let's do that, and let's kind of move forward with that idea. So post in the forum. I do think we do need some tech training and tools for how do we connect with students, some ideas on how to do that. I'm going to ask if folks would be willing to volunteer to show us how they're currently using some of the tech, because obviously the best person to show that would be a counselor who's already in the process of using it. So let's make that one of our topics. This is perfect. This is exactly what we want to see happening in our update meetings. This is exactly what we see happening in our forum. And the fact that people are contributing and volunteering with ideas and responses, fantastic, guys. So I'm really looking forward to where this is going to go and all of the different things that we're going to discover as we move forward. So this is really, really exciting.
And I just have one more thing to say, and I hope I'm not putting her on the spot, but Alicia Petro, if you are still here, I think you are, please, Alicia is our New Mexico School Counselor of the Year. She's on for trying for the National School Counselor of the Year, so we want to support her, but I want to congratulate her on her honor. But Alicia can also be our point person right now today. I'm not sure if anybody else from the New Mexico School Counselor Association is on with us, but Alicia, just say a few words. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, dear, but you're wonderful anyway, so I know you can handle it.
Of course, of course. So many of the issues that we are discussing today have been kind of at the forefront of the NMSCA association's kind of considerations for training for counselors. And so what we're talking about right now is a similar session or set of sessions that we're calling Tech Tuesdays. And so for members, there are technology sessions, usually from 3 to 4 on Tuesdays. And just the links have been emailed to members. So if you're interested, it doesn't cost a lot to become an NMSCA member.
And we will be featuring the New Mexico School Counselor Association in our November newsletter. I'm going to attend the board meeting this Saturday, so you'll get all the information about membership and everything else. Thank you, Alicia. Absolutely.
Very good. That's a fantastic suggestion, the Tech Tuesdays through NMSCA. So that would be incredibly valuable, especially in the position that we're in right now. So you might want to check that out and explore that. And again, I want to definitely get all that stuff in that forum. So let's get that started and get that communication going. Sake of time, any other quick questions right now?
Yes, I have one. This is Brandon Boiser. Is there any way for the NMPD and your organization to come up with a Google form that for the next step plan so that we can all use in our respective districts.
Oh, you want us to create magic, Mr. Bozier. We would love to. Unfortunately, NMPED does not use Google. I can barely even get into Google Docs. I have to use my own personal account. But I think there is something in the works. Alicia, you might know something more about this, but I think Rio Rancho has found a way to put these things online. Am I correct?
So in Rio Rancho, we utilize Naviance to push out next step plans, but it is a very similar kind of process to what is available through a Google Doc or a Google
So what
form.
another great topic I think we should address. We'll put this on our list of topics, because next step plans is, we're definitely going to delve into that in the newsletter and in this community. I mean, it has been, I know it's kind of a thorn in the side of most counselors, because NMPED, while it's required by statute, state statute, we don't house the next step plans. Like once you get to the senior year, there's no place for you to submit them to the PED. So we need to have a more focused approach to the next step plans. And I think you'll see that coming in the future. Thank you for your question.
And Jennifer Duggan said that she has a Google form, and I guess that she has created that she's willing to share. So I've asked her to send it to me, and we'll find a way to get it out to everyone.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So my vision is this with the Google Forms when this comes to fruition. A lot of times students change school districts. So in that case, if we have a common form, we could just push or share the Google form with that new school district, and they get everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Solve a lot of problems, duplicative work. That is amazing.
All right, folks, so I think we're going to go ahead and close up our meeting here. And so look for your counselor survey that's coming out tomorrow. This will probably be, like I said, a 10 to 15 minute survey, where others will probably be more of a 5-minute survey. Look for that coming out. In the meantime, we're all excited about sharing some information. Get into the forum, get that information posted. Let's get the ball rolling on that. And if you have any additional questions as we move forward, please use the contact information that we've shared with you on how to get in contact with us. You obviously have Barb's email too as well, but so we are here, and let's get the party started. So we're just excited about this and excited to move forward. And you are a tremendous group of folks that I can see already through the participation. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. I look forward to moving forward. So
thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Can I ask one quick question?
Sure.
Everything that the suggestions that were posted in the chat, is that going to be saved somewhere where I could read those?
I'm going to save the chat text and see if I can't find a way to share that information. Again, if you could go on and put it on the questions in the forum too, you might even get more responses.
Okay, yes, thank you. Okay.
But I am saving the chat, so.
And I'll try to send out I can send that out, Kelly, if you want me to.
Okay.
Appreciate you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
See you, Deborah. Good questions.
Thank you.
Some great questions in the chat too, so.
Bye-bye.
That was a loaded question.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Have a good
everyone.
day. Bye.